Hey, hey, good day, good day, good day. How you doing, GT? How you doing? Dan's Food, how you doing? You sideways? I'm sideways. Oh man, let's see. Sideways, sideways. Let's see. I normally don't do live on straight YouTube, and so I guess I'm paying the price. Sideways. Let's see. Maybe it want me to do it like this today. How y'all doing today? Is that right? Had me sideways. I guess it want me to do it in a portrait way. Are we good on that one? Hopefully we good on that one. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Happy Mac, how you doing? Much love to y'all. How y'all doing? Hope everything is going well. Hope your life is blessed. And let's see if I can got this thing a little too high for me. Let's see if I can bring it down just a little bit without messing it up. Guess I'll leave it alone while we're there. I won't keep y'all long, but I thank you all for coming in. I thank you all for hitting the likes when you came in. Um, and just want to say welcome to the channel. And what's going on, y'all? I mean, right now we're in the heart of winter, 2024. We nearing the completion of the month of January, and yeah, it's 70 some odd degrees, and the weather is it feels good. It's overcast, but it feels real good. But I just wanted to kind of share a few things with you because I'm noticing y'all know I'm doing this transitioning where I'm trying to do the entrepreneur thing again, and I'm dibbing and dabbling in a little bit of this and that, trying to find my way through the entrepreneurship because that's important. If you're homesteading, if you're thinking about homesteading, and if you're thinking about being in the boondocks, the way beyond, you're thinking about being in the deep, you gotta get a sense of you got to have a sense of income. You got to have some revenue. You got to generate something to sustain yourself. The commute, the back and forth, it is taxing, it's expensive, and you can't do the things that you really need to do. If you're like 2 hour commute or hour and a half or 3 hour commute, I've heard some people they do like a 3 hour commute between the bus, between the rail, and between driving. And my heart goes out to people that's doing that. GG, how you doing? Much love to you. Yeah, GT says it's January and you have a short sleeve. Yeah. I mean, the weather is great. I can go topless, really, but I won't do that. I won't disrespect y'all like that. But I could, but the weather is great. Uh, like I said, it's overcast. It's supposed to get a little cool. It's supposed to drop back down to the 30s, sometimes within the next 24 to 48 hours. So we're going to get ready for those 30s. But I'm watching the plants. I'm watching nature. I'm seeing reptiles moving around. As we were walking through the woods today, we saw all kinds of stuff that we normally don't see in the wintertime. And we've been watching plants kind of come alive. We're watching a lot of different things happen. And my thing is, don't go for the okie doke, y'all. Don't go for the okie doke. Gardeners, don't start planting your spring garden too soon. I know you're anxious. I know you're ready. But just understand that here a few years ago, we were here in Florida, and where we should have been in the 80s, we were in the 40s in May. So generally in this area, after Easter, that Sunday comes, you typically start placing things in the ground. You start your gardening. You can pretty much feel good that you won't get a frost. But I'm telling you all, we can't tell what's going on. We've had hurricane type activities happen here in the dead of winter, which is unheard of. They didn't call it a hurricane or anything like that, but to me, we still got debris removal. We got a lot of other stuff, and they could tell that this force was coming. But I don't know. I don't know what you call it. I think we got different names. It's almost like when we get that flu thing, and then we escalate it and call it this, and we call it that, and we call it numbers, and we call it a bunch of different stuff. I don't know what's going on, but the bottom line is the weather is changing. But don't be fooled and don't be okey doke just because you got some few warm days. Um, and it's not just weather. There's a lot of things where people can give you false perceptions. Don't believe everything everybody tell you. I'm seeing a lot of different things out there. A lot of people, they talk about off grid living. They talk about living this life, far as on the homestead. They talk about selling everything and going out here and just being adventurous and just going and tackling the world. And you can't believe everything you see. Don't believe everything you see that we do, because there's a lot of activities that happen behind the scenes. There's a lot of things that I don't show you, me kicking and screaming and me fussing and me going through panic attacks and a lot of other stuff, because I don't want you to see that side, because I want you to be encouraged that there's something else other than this. There are good, great things that happen. There is independency. There is a sense of freedom. Imagine you're able to just walk around. You're able to create your own roads. Able to create your own foundation, your own living system. You're able to fellowship with nature, and just chill and just relax. So it's a blessing, y'all. Hey, Shiny, how you doing? Sylvia, how you doing? Who else we got in here? Happy Mac. Yeah, it's it's real, but don't believe everything you see. Good morning to you as well, because we have these things in life that we want an instant gratification. We want things to happen to us in a positive manner, real quick and real fast. But it don't always work like that, y'all. Um, Understand that a lot of things that you want in life, a lot of things that you want to grow, you want to manifest in your life, a lot of those things, it takes a lot of time. It takes patience. It takes persistence. It takes you studying. It takes you learning. It takes you making mistakes. It takes you uh, looking at those mistakes. But one thing I tell you, whatever you pursuing, whatever you're doing, don't give up and don't let nobody talk you out of your dream. Um, if your dream does not manifest as quickly as you want it to, just pray and ask for perseverance and direction. Because one of the things that I believe is almost everything that I worked for, it never came easy. It never was like a turnkey. And if it was like a turnkey, it was just something about it that wasn't as of like rewarding as when I went through a long journey and when I went through a whole process. So I hope y'all doing well. I'm in North Carolina and the flies are out. Look, we got mosquitoes. I've been working on the well, y'all, and let me tell you, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I figured out what's going on with the well. I've changed out all kinds of parts with the well. We changed out the generator. We changed out the control box. We changed out the switch, the pressure switch. The next thing was to pull that pump. But guess what happened? We checked the wiring. There was no breakage. I had dug up some wiring, trying to follow up the wiring. We changed out the plug into the generator. We I took apart the wiring to the actual well, um, everything I could think of, and all those things, it led to the main line. It wasn't compromised, but apparently, well, I shouldn't say it wasn't it wasn't visually compromised, but it was something on the inside. And y'all hear these chicken in the background? I mean, ain't nobody said nothing since I've been out here, and then all of a sudden they just squawking, 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 like there's no tomorrow. But everybody wants the attention on social media these days. Family man, how you doing? Good morning. Bless up to you as well. My Renaissance, how you doing? Good morning. Good morning. So like I said, I'm not going to keep y'all long, but I did want to share a few things with you to kind of keep you encouraged and keep you knowing that do your research, do your work, and just because somebody tell you something, just because somebody says this or that, don't always go for it, y'all, because you really have to know. And although we want to make things look grandiose and make them look good because you do get the views, you do retain the attention, but understand there's a preparation piece. You got to organize things. You got to put things into play, and it just don't come that easy, y'all. And just be patient and understand that you meet roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, but you can't give up, and you got to keep pressing forward. You're good. I'm glad you're good. Sunday, how you doing, my brother? What's going on, man? Welcome in. We just having a conversation of don't go for the okie doke. And what I mean by the okie doke, I mean, you see a TikTok, you see an Instagram. I don't care whether you want to change your career, whether you want to fix a car, Nick, whether you want to do some plumbing, whether you want to work on a project. Understand there's depth to that. And we say we understand, but understand this. Really do your research before you dive in because of it's so much misleading information out there. It's so much misleading information that makes things look so simplistic and make things look so easy. And a lot of times it's not that easy. It's not that easy at all. But it doesn't mean you can't do it. But just look at different, um, rather than maybe look at one resource, look at multiple resources and do it. Because I'm watching a lot of things unfold as we press on with this journey, as we put forward, as we do different things. And it's very misleading out there. Or even just conversations with people you know and you see. What works for them may not work for you. And what they may go through may be very, very challenging for them. It may not even be challenging for you. So just focus on your dream, focus on pursuing your dream, focus on doing what you need to do. You're entering into a new zone. Just relax. And I'm talking to myself as well. And enjoy the process. And don't fight it, but just keep pushing on and keep pressing on because there's something at the end of the journey. And at the end of this journey, there's blessings upon blessings upon blessings. So I hope y'all are well. I hope y'all doing well. I hope everything is prosperous in your life. And if y'all got anything you need to express right now, you got any questions or anything before I jump out of here, I'm hoping that you all enter into this weekend, into a great weekend. I'm hoping that you all, if you're experiencing weather, because the north will be getting battered with a lot of rain. California being killed with rain. We've been killed with rain. The south. It's just it's some challenging times right now, and a lot of people are going through a lot of challenges. And my thing, as I look amongst this world, from earthquakes to landslides to everything, is don't give up. Don't give up. It's hard. Life is hard, but we are resilient. We are resilient people, and I know that we can get through this. And I know that if you keep pushing forward, you will achieve what you want to achieve. Because I'm telling you, also don't forget to dream. Sometimes we just look at life and we look at our current situation and we forget, don't forget to dream about those mansions, those 5, 7, 8 bedroom mansions. Don't forget to dream about cars and boats and whatever, because those are things that are going to help you and motivate you and keep pushing you to do greater and far greater things. As you get closer to obtaining those things, you might change out. You might, instead of getting this, you might get that. That's okay. But you need something that keeps you motivated. You need something to keep you inspired. You need something to keep you going. You need something to fuel your fire, because it's fine to be everything for everybody else, but you got to be something for yourself. You got to be whole within yourself. You got to provide strength for yourself. Too much to type. GT, give me a little bit. I have a few questions. Please. I mean, just give me a few lines, man. I'd be more. Dream board. Yeah. Create your dream board, whether it's physical, digital, but make sure you see it every single time. I don't care if it's nothing but sticky notes, where you intentionally placing them wherever you go, and places that you constantly sit, or places that you frequently visit. Make sure you put that into place. Any questions, y'all, about homesteading, about this journey, about what you do in rural areas, as far as income, resources, interest in January weather. Exactly. It is interesting. Uh, Raw land with little skills is my issue. Well, this is my question. There's a lot of variance in that, and that's a good question, GT. Um, far as experience, it's kind of catch 22 because even if even though we have experienced buying raw land before, we haven't experienced this level of things because when we did it at the first time, well, we bought a couple of pieces of raw land, but we only took maybe one from ground all the way up, from clearing it to bringing in the infrastructure and everything like that. But things are different. You got things like this, and this is why I say, what one person's journey may not be yours, and don't let one person's journey be your thing to talk you out of achieving your dreams or to be the thing that makes you put your solid foundation on that. Um, in 97, 96, when we bought that first piece of property, people were more dependable. People were more readily available. You had more rural well diggers. You had more excavators, land clears. You had more people with big machinery. You had more people that even in your own community, whether it was the church or whether it was people you met with at work, you had more people that were willing to give more of their time. And I just look at it from now, everything is a transaction now in many cases. The rule is the closest you're going to get to any type of humanality and people trying to keep their word, but people still don't. It's changed. A lot of stuff has changed now to the part where things are definitely not the same as they used to be. The cost is not the same. And when you say knowing what to do, sometimes you might not start at the very, very nothing, just raw land. A lot of times people have situations where they think that if I buy a piece of raw land, I can come out cheaper, I can come out a whole lot better, and I can slowly build upon that rather than trying to finance and then try to finance this and then try to do this and do that. Sometimes raw land is not the best choice. Uh, if you can buy something with infrastructure, sometimes that's not the best choice. This is why how funny it can get. You can buy a piece of land with a well on it, septic tank, just say an old house or what have you on there, or an old mobile home. The question is, how old is it? How old is the septic tank? How old is the well? When the last time it's been powered? When the last time it's been used? Has there been flooding in that area? Understand too, I just got a document this week for the state of Florida where this particular county that I reside in, they're changing the flood maps, the flood zone maps. So check your flood zone um, through the government, U.S. government. You want to check that out because they're changing. They're changing the maps now, and that's going to change insurance. That's going to change your bill standards. That's going to change a lot of stuff. So I understand the overwhelming piece of it, but sometimes you not knowing can give you advantages. Let me show you why. First thing, you can you can count all the costs. If you narrow down where you want to live at, you find a place where you want to live, go ahead and narrow that down first. Find a region or area where you want to live. Then once you do that, then you want to take a look at the prices across the board. Take a look at the prices of raw land. And you can't say what something is going per acre. People kill me when just yesterday, I got a call yesterday. Somebody wanted to offer me $300 to $3,500 per acre to buy this homestead. And I hung up. We didn't have a conversation. I'm not interested in selling, but you got a lot of people who preying on people hitting hard times because people starting to hit hard times, and you got these people what they call, um, oh man, Gigi always talking about it. It's like you invest. You got these investors want to invest. So they came from a group of investors where they like buying large parcels of land and making the neighborhoods and different stuff like that. I think there's activity over the next decade or so that's getting ready to happen out here, because I'm noticing the infrastructure on the way here and a bunch of other stuff is changing. And so I'm thinking that people have been reaching out left and right about buying or sending offers for our land. But going back to your question, GT, once you narrow down the area, 1 acre and 2 acres will be tremendously higher than if you get 40 acres or 20 acres or 30 acres if you do per acre price. So you can't base it on that. A lot of time, the larger the acreage you buy, the cheaper per acre. Some same thing, similar to homes. Sometimes you get a 4,000 square foot house, it may be a little bit cheaper than getting a 1,200 or 1,400 square foot house. Why is that? I'm not sure. Maybe it's the upfront cost, but it's just the way it is. Now, once you take a look and see, okay, this is the average of whatever acreage I want. This is the average price. You write that down. Then you got to think about the infrastructure. You're gonna need water. You're gonna need electric. You need to find out, can you get electric? Can you get power there? You need to also get approximation. All these are approximations because you don't know until you get there. The well, what's the average? You always want to give yourself 20% on top of whatever it is. Septic tank, you want to give yourself 20% of everything. That way you can now say, okay, here's my cost. If my cost is, just say it's 100 grand for everything, you still got to build. You still got to put your place, whether you want to do cabin, RV. Can you do a cabin there? Would they allow you to do an RV? Would they allow you to build your own house? Can you pull your own permits? Can you do your own construction? Can you be the general contractor? We found all of that out before we purchased this land, that we had relaxed um, laws as of now, where we can be our own general contractor. We can do our own plat map. We can do everything on our own and be pretty much self-sustained. Make sure you can do that, because some areas you can't do that. You can't do those things at all. Um, and make sure your property that you're looking at is not deed restricted, you know, because that's going to weigh in on a lot of stuff. Now, another thing you could do is what someone that I witnessed done. They bought an already homestead, and it was an older homestead, but they have long-term plans to build their own piece of that homestead. By buying that homestead, you can probably do USDA loans, you can do rural development loans, you can do low entry point for down payments, you can do a lot of different things where you may can't do just automatic. If you buy raw land, a lot of this stuff is cash, 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 cash. There's no financing with a will or anything like that unless you do some creative financing. Um, but typically your interest rate is going to be through the roof. So a lot of these deals are cash, land clearing cash, septic tank a lot of times cash unless you credit card it. So you got to ask yourself what you want to do. It may be more simpler just to buy a already pre-existing homestead and something that may need a little TLC, and you put your time and your energy to get it up running. And then once you get it running, then you can navigate and just say, hey, do I want to build another cabin? Do I want to do an Airbnb out there? Do I want to do tours out there to generate some income to let it pay for itself? There's so many creative things you can do out there. Do I want to rent space where people can come and bring an RV, or maybe can campsite or whatever? You got different things that you can do once you secure that land. But the biggest thing is securing that property. But I think it's a great, 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 great question. And it is a lot, man. It's a lot. It's a lot, but you can do it. You want to know why you can do it? Because we're doing it. The fact of, if you can raise a family, you can work a job, you can do a gardening, you can do this, you can do what we're doing. It just takes a little time, and understand that there's no rule book to none of this stuff, because you could have got a piece of land on west of us or east of us, and the whole thing that we doing you couldn't even do, because of it could have been a different type of soil. Florida has all kinds of different soils. Some areas have sinkholes, some areas have natural springs, some of them are sandy, some of it is clay soil, some soil has a lot of silt. So the septic tank might have been 5 grand for me or 6 grand for me, and it could be 15 for you, or it could be 3,500 for you. That's why I'm saying it's just so many different things that just happen, and it's almost like you got to get in there. It's almost like I can show you how to hold your breath, how to flap your feet, and show you how to cuff your hands and push the water away from you. But until you jump in that thing, you can't experience, and you really don't know what how you're gonna react to it until you get in the middle of it. Raw land with little skills. Okay. Gigi, we have to learn how to do things all the time, every single day. Never worked on a wheel in my life. I've helped my uncles work on wheels. My uncle, I've been around there, but I had no idea what I was doing. But you know what I did? I looked at maybe, man, I would go to sleep at night watching different videos and reading different PDFs of how to wire because no matter what video you see, your stuff is not their stuff. And the switch, I couldn't find the switch that I had on the internet. And then the control boxes, they say they all standard. That's a lie. They're not all standard. They should all connect. They don't all connect together. Sometimes the capacitors in the different placements. Sometimes the actual push in is a little bit different. So that may be true in their section, their area, and that's the thing that you got to be mindful of. If I'm watching somebody up north fix on something down south, down south may not even have, because of the climate, the humidity, the moisture, and salt air, and all that kind of stuff. They may have a totally different setup than for something up north. So it's one of those things where you have to just learn as you go. Brother Ego, do you have any place on your property that retains water? Uh, let me share this with you. First of all, we still have not gone into 10 of our acres to this day, Sunday, and I don't know when we're gonna plunge through that. I've gone deeper. I would say maybe 9, but it's such a small little divot that I can't even claim 9. But there's an area that I've shown in my previous videos, and there's a gentle slope. Like right now, the slope is coming this way to me. So it goes back this way, and the slope goes down here. If you can look real closely down there, the water runs down here, and then it slopes right at the border of the property, probably about another 400 or 500 feet like that way. And then it goes back down through there and right through them woods. We got these deep, they look like caves. They could be caverns because in this area, we have a lot of underground waterways. We have a lot of underground springs. And you may think a little tree trunk and you see a hole, and they still discovering caverns around here, and they're buying, the government is buying land left and right because there's caverns that have not been discovered. I think within the last year or two, they just bought some land, and we're close to some natural springs and a natural spring resort. And um, they looked next to a tree, and they went to explore, and they found that it was a cavern. And I'm telling you, it's like 10 foot to 15 foot ceilings with stalactites and all kinds of stuff up underneath there. And they haven't even gone the extent of all of they say it's a maze under there. And they've gone out something like around maybe a mile or so just out. And they still say it still hadn't ended. And it's a lot of that here, and it all leads down to that direction. So there's some holes down there that the water is going. It looks like at one time it used to hold water. And then even on the mapping, and I got this grid mapping software where it can see and detect wetlands and different stuff like that. So it retains moisture at the base of that. My goal was to dig out some of that, but I'm now thinking about maybe not necessarily there, but maybe just north of there to kind of dig there. But right now, as of now, in short answer, I don't have any standing water, but I do have some caves and some caverns where the water escapes underground. I'm not sure what that entails, and if it's a natural spring, I'm not going to touch it. If it's a natural water tributary, I want it to stay like that. And maybe one day my great grands will learn more about it, and or maybe in my lifetime. And but I'm not gonna touch that. I'm really I done already kind of said that's not where I'm gonna do the pond. I'm gonna do the pond a little bit further um, north of that because I don't want to disrupt that. So yeah, that's the rest of the land. I don't know. It could be something out there, but for right now, from the drone, from the flood zone mapping and none of that, it doesn't look like any water is here, not standing retaining water. But this is Florida. You can always dig a retaining pond. And I mean, I think when we first hit water, we hit water for the well maybe 10 feet. Um, it's so much. There's so many springs down here in Florida. It's just crazy. Hi, Eco and Gigi. What's going on? Gardening is great. Yes, it is. Uh, Careful driving. Okay. Stop. Not now. But Gigi, y'all common sense is on point. Not so much. And that's okay. But I do dream on having raw land, but that man put in a plumbing system, laugh out loud, have a plumbing certificate, but laugh out loud. Start out small. The first time we bought land, it wasn't big. Just just get the experience. Buy a half an acre. Buy a third of an acre. And just this what you do though. Don't look to homestead or nothing like that on there, right? You probably could do a garden or something like that, but don't buy the property as an investment to maybe 3 to 4 years from now. So like this, buy a piece of property in an uprising neighborhood or something like that, or buy something that got main frontage of a main thoroughfare and somewhere close to something. So that way you don't have to pay too much for it, but you're gonna pay for it. And then just go out there and play with the land. Go out there and play with it. Now the thing is about neighborhoods, what the only thing I don't like is HOAs. Sometimes HOAs they won't let you do certain things, and if you do buy property, I know one guy who property almost got foreclosed on it. He had raw land in a neighborhood. The neighborhood started to grow in Tallahassee, and as it was growing, more people pressed him, and they end up charging him to clear his land because he been sitting on it and he had planned to build, but the deal fell through with this builder, and he had been sitting on it for years. But they have him to cut down just woods because of the HOA. That's just one of those things. GT, are you buying land in Alaska or somewhere warmer? Hopefully it'll come down south, GT. Hopefully GT will come down south. Alaska is beautiful and growing. Yes, it is. I hear a lot of people talk about Alaska. That's awesome because I do my own interior work on our home. It's the journey that y'all are building that's fascinating my mind. I think the only difference is between me and you is we doing it, um, and you can do it too. And once you get in this thing, you can't say, "Oh my God, I'm finna run away, put it down." No, you just gotta dig your heels in deep, and you just gotta go for it. And worst come to worst, guess what happens? You say, "Hey, this ain't for me." You wash your hands, and you put a for sale sign it, and you keep going because it's land. No matter what nobody tell you, they say that buying land, raw land, is a risk. That's a barrier to keep you from doing it. They just don't want to finance it. Yeah, you could do it, GT. I totally agree, GT. I mean, GG. If it has well, septic, and power, that's ideal. Yeah, if you got your infrastructure there, that's ideal. But granted, if it is functionable, and man, that Don't go for the okie doke. This is a classic example. It's so many people out here trying to buy land and do stuff that some of the counties and some of the places, not necessarily here, but other places, they start changing regulations with saying, hey, in order for you to occupy this land, the Department of Health got to come out, they got to do this, got to inspect it, or the management got to do this, got to do this, and they can keep you from inhabiting your own land. So you can own land outright, paid for cash, and if that septic tank or that water system is deemed uninhabitable, they could ban you from that land. So it's a risk. Everything is a risk. And if anything worth having wasn't worth the risk, I tell you, no different between investment plans, investment stocks. You got money coming out your check. If you're not an entrepreneur, you working at a job, you got money coming out your check. You can't touch it. You can't see it. You can't go to the bank and look at it. You can't count the bills. You can't go through there and smell what the bills look like. You can't do nothing. And then you put it into investment portfolio where the company gets kickbacks and percentages off of what you get, and then they bank on it, and then it's a constraint just for you to get, and you get penalized just for you getting your own money that's getting taken out. Everything is a system. Before we were here, there's systems in place that were thought of because of everything that loophole that somebody tried to come up with. They done put something else to replace those systems. You know what I'm saying? And that's just life. Uh, wow, 20 acres is a lot. God is good. God is good. I mean, 20 acres is a lot. 40 is too. 80, 100, 1,000, 2,000. And we're not large landowners out here. It's landowners out here that gone through generations, and man, they own a lot of property out here. Do you think morality is an objective truth or a human construct? I think fairness is fairness. Thus, fairness is fairness, and what you deem as fairness is based on what's been communicated, and make that's why it's so important that you communicate effectively. You share what your wants, you share what your needs and your desires, and if they agree to it, if they agree to adhering to it, I don't care nothing about their morality. I don't care nothing about a lot of other stuff because of the fact of they are a person of their word and they have fulfilled the needs of the contract. The reason why I don't care because I don't know their plight, I don't know their situation, I don't know the situation. Classic example. Y'all know that I done a lot of mentoring, I done a lot of teaching, I done a lot of training, vocational training, a lot of different stuff in the prison system in the state of Florida. There's a young man that I will never forget, and I probably shared this story, but this is a young man, and this is why I'm telling you about. We have to be careful with how we label or how we view people because we don't know their plight, we don't know their journey. This young man, he was a juvenile in prison when he first came in, and I met him at a young age. He was frail, he was scared, and but he had multiple life sentences, and he got tried as an adult. They say he was a troubled youth, and he got into a lot of trouble. And when he first got on, he did get into a lot of trouble. He got into a lot of different things. So, I'm sorry, y'all. This is my problem right here. Look what they bringing home now, y'all. I'm like, this whole freaking rib cage, man. I just, I try to get rid of stuff, and sometimes the smell alone, it gets rough. But anyway, let me tell you about this young man though, because this is why I want to go down this road. Um, so he got into a lot of trouble as a youth and this and that. Even when he first came in incarceration, he was in trouble. Um, there was times where I almost had to write him up a couple of times, but I learned from one of my good coworkers to learn why people do what they do and not react upon what they do, but learn typically there's a reason, there's a catalyst, there's something that promote people's activity and their behavior. So fast forward, I ain't gonna hold you long on this one. He was a young troubled youth, but he was in prison for murdering his mom and his, let's see, his mom, his stepdad, and his stepdad brother. So what he did, his mom was heavily on drugs. His dad, my stepdad, abused him and sexually assaulted him ever since he was young. And his uncle, well, not his uncle, but his stepdad's brother would do the same thing. He would invite his brother over and they would just do sex games on his mom and on him. And the crazy part about this is that he had a younger sister. And his younger sister, I was fortunate to meet. One time she came for visitation. Me and this guy, we became quite connected, very intelligent, very amazing guy. And his life to me did improve while he was in prison because he had a community of people. And some people, they view prison as just negative, negative, negative. But some people, they do bond and they do obtain a sense of being. They do learn to live without being around. He had nothing to go home to, right? um, Kicking out of school. He always in school, and teachers, educators, if you're there, please pay attention to your kids that you're taking care of. Don't be so quick to give them all of these punishments because they didn't do their homework. Some of these kids got some real distractions, y'all. Some of these kids are really dealing with a lot, and if you can just break that ice and learn why they're acting out, sometimes you can save some lives, right? So, make a long story short, his sister started to become of age, and he would throw himself in front of them to distract. But after a while, he couldn't do it anymore, and they start to kind of focus on his baby sister. His baby sister was his world. So he waited to the right situation, the right moment, and he pretty much deleted them um, because he wanted to protect his sister. He got trial. All they looked at was his records. They looked at he used to steal money. I mean, steal food for his siblings. He used to do all kinds of stuff because he was out on his own. But nobody had compassion because they looked at his record. They looked at all of that kind of stuff, and he couldn't articulate a lot of that at the time. Now I challenge the fact he shares law and everything else. He was amazing. I hadn't talked to him in quite some time, but very intelligent individual, very intelligent. Um, and the thing is, what saddens me is sometimes we look at people and we read or we get this interpretation what media says or what people project, and we don't dig deeper to find out why. We don't dig deeper to find a better understanding of what was the catalyst. There's no excuse for deleting anybody at all. But what was he to do when he wanted to protect the only thing that he felt like he could, the thing that was pure and the thing that was innocent? He didn't want her to go through that same thing. And I'm hoping that some of these subjects, sometimes I share these subjects and YouTube just tears me apart. But I feel like they need to be shared because one of the things that I look at is by me, he done right. Um, don't justify nobody's actions or anything like that. But I meet people every single day, and when I meet people, I take them for what they present to me. I interact with them. They a person of their word. They follow through. They treat me with kindness, respect. I do the same thing. I have no issues. But they may go to the next person and it may be something totally different. It's almost like, have you ever been had a friend and a great best friend, and then you had another great best friend and they didn't know each other, and then one day you introduce them together? You would think they would be complementary friends because they friend with you, and they don't. They clash. They don't even like each other. You have no bearings on how other people react to anybody, and you can't control nobody. Most of the time we can't control ourselves. So therefore I have to meet people for where they are. You on YouTube, never physically met you, but you give me positivity, I give you positivity. Anybody say anything negative to you, all I know is good. That's all I know. Far as me judging this and me judging that, I have no idea. And I know they're going again because they're going to get the rest of the body. and I don't know how to stop it, but they just keep bringing these gifts. What happened, Gigi? Hmm, okay, let's see. Trolls. I get it. I get it. But hey, everybody need love too. Even trolls need love too. You are from which country? What you mean by which country? Empty cup for me. What you mean by which country? Wow, that's crazy. Right. Focus on being what you want to be instead of focusing on being a judge of others. Man, yeah. I mean, man, I got too much to do on my own, man. I, I'm a work. I'm a work within myself. Chosen God is great. No compliments for me. No complaints for me. Gotcha. Now we got the zombie deal. Okay. Yeah. And the skeleton may just come alive. I don't understand this stuff, man. They working on something though. They chase deer every single day. I gotta build a place for them as they get older because I won't. I love nature. I love watching nature, and with these cats here, never mind. It just there's level to this thing. Everything you don't know until you face them. Trolls can get put up out of here. Hey, Shy, how you doing? I appreciate you coming in. Good to see you, Shy. Hope you're doing good. What's the weather like up there in the ATL? But hey, y'all, I think I've been on here way longer than I expected. I just wanted to, GT. I hope in the chat, and we have shared something that's been beneficial to you. If I don't have any other questions, any other somebody would like to know a little bit of something that we have experienced that they would like for us to share, I'm gonna kind of bring this live to a close. 65 beautiful, yeah, yeah. It's 70 something here, and so yeah, I think it's gonna get cooler this weekend though. Excellent. I'm glad the weather's doing good up there. Lynette, how you doing, Lynette Lawrence? Thank you. I appreciate you for them kind words. Nice. If David, King David, what's going on, man? Your dogs grew up fast. They are awesome on that land. You know what, family man? Huh? Yeah. They something else. I mean, they. To me, they're like a weapon with a brain and creative. And I do not know how deep they go, but they go way deeper than I've ever gone. I think one day I might get me a GoPro, even though they won't. They never worn a collar. I think one of them worn a collar in their whole life, so they run free. I don't know if they would allow a GoPro to be strapped to them, but one day I wouldn't mind doing that. But I don't think they'll go for it. I think I have to get another dog to let them run with them. I appreciate you, Miss D. Thank you, thank you. Did you finish the insulation in the cabin? No. Y'all hear that? Here we go with chickens again. But no, I have 1.5 rows to go in the attic space. And I do plan on going. Matter of fact, I'll probably leave shortly after that. I got to do a few things up here, but between now and this weekend, I'm probably going to finish the insulation. Then once I do the insulation, I'm going to finish the sheetrock. And it's not going as fast as I wanted to. And now we've had well issues. We've had things getting into the chicken pen. We've had vehicle issues, propane issues. It's been one challenge after another, and you got to prioritize what you're doing. Yeah, and so life happens, and you got to happen with it. But one good thing about it, the cabin ain't going nowhere. We'll get it, and we'll get it right. Um, let's see. Thanks for the great info. Dreaming and searching for 3 to 5 acres. Where you searching for that, Sylvia? Hope. to stay rational when looking at my dreams to come. Thanks for the kind words. No, rational. That means limitations. Be careful with the word rational. Most of the time when you talk about rational, you're talking about based on your past experiences. Um, Class example. Did you make the same kind of money you made when you was 18 years old? Did you make the same kind of money that you made when you was 20? Did you do the same thing when you did when you was 10 years old? Do you have the same amount of knowledge you did when you was 12? So rational means things that you can think of that you based on your past experience. But when you dream and when you have a vision, that means something you can't readily obtain, or that means something that you can't easily obtain, or something in your past experience have not gotten you to that point. Because the whole thing about vision and goal setting is when you have goals and you have a vision, it's there to push you, to keep you pushing and growing and going to another level, going to another level. Because you may have a vision of 50 acres, but but the creator may say you get blessed with 100. Our vision was 5 to 10. We ended up with 20. Sometimes your vision is a suppression of your reality in the future. So don't shortchange yourself. It's a reason why you had that thought, that dream, and don't try to think your way through it because you got to seek certain things. You know, you open a certain door, you put it out there into the atmosphere, and somebody might say, "Hey, I know somebody who doing this. I know somebody who doing that." That's why I say be specific about what you want and how you want it, and then you need to put it out there because there's a couple of things. People gonna hold you accountable. Somebody just asked me about the insulation in the cabin. You know what that's doing? Holding me accountable. Stay focused. When you do get a chance, you need to finish that insulation. You know, it's okay to say no, I haven't finished, and no, I haven't done what I said I was gonna do by the time I hadn't did. But that's what we're here for, to hold each other accountable, to ask questions. You know what I'm saying? And guess what's gonna happen? That question is gonna lead for actions. The next thing you know, the action's gonna mean completion. Completion gonna mean enjoyment. So that's the whole thing about this thing called life, y'all. Um, we in this thing together. You're not by yourself. So dream big, want big, desire, and put forth the effort and figure out what it takes to get there. And then find out somebody who's already done it and then find that path and then say, hey, I learned from this. Now this is based on my experience that I can do, that I could do apply to my life. And then I find somebody else, I can apply that to my life. And then you build upon that and then you custom build your own path. And then guess what? When you take that step of faith, there's forces that will push you through that process. There's forces from a creator of mankind, from nature, that will allow you to elevate to that level and far beyond that. So just understand that don't cap, don't put no cap on your dreams and your looking for homes or land in Florida. Eco Neighbor is yeah, this week, y'all. Um, I obtained my realtor official badge. I am a Florida State realtor. I'm a national realtor, a part of the National Association of Realtors, and I'm a part of the Central Panhandle Regional Association. So, y'all, if y'all looking for someone who's passionate, someone who's experienced in buying land from a buyer's perspective, who sell land, who manage land, man, hit your boy up, man. That ain't hard to find. Go ahead and go into about me and send me an email. Let me know. Let me know what you want to do. I understand now. I I will dream big. That's right, GT. Man, you're worthy of it. You put forth the work. You're worthy of it. I mean, when you was created, it was like the same thing that the leader of Microsoft or the largest wealthy landowner or the best athlete can obtain, you can too. You might not go that same direction, but you have the same availability to do it too. Because when they came in the world, they came in the world naked. And they might have came into a nice environment that promoted more. You're adult now. Create that environment. Put yourself in those environments. You know, Who cares if you in a room full of billionaires and you the brokest one? Some of it is bound to wash off. Put yourself, be intentional, put yourself in them rooms. Look out for those things, man. Appreciate that, man. Thank you for the congrats, y'all. Um, let's see. That's good to know. I'm looking for land in Florida. Chosen seed gardener. Let me know. Let me know when you get serious about it. And then, like I said, we can explore and take a look and see what you got, and we can move forward. Y'all been beautiful. Y'all been wonderful. Y'all been amazing as always. I thank you all for the hospitality. I thank you all for the support. I thank y'all for coming in and listening. I thank y'all for sharing your comments and everything. And then I hope you all go into this weekend feeling victorious. I hope this Friday be very beneficial to you. I hope that you be constructive. I hope that you achieve your dreams, and I hope that you just go after them. And don't look for acceptance. Don't look for people to be like, hey, you got this, you got this. No, you do it within yourself. You first become your own cheerleader. You rally, you build yourself, and then you trust something that's greater than you. And then you lean not to your own understanding and you push forward. Y'all be well, y'all be blessed, and don't forget whatever you do, make sure that you keep on growing. Grow. Hey, before I let y'all out, let me show y'all this rib cage over here. And I'm gonna fade out, all right? Y'all bear with me, y'all. Check out this, y'all. Let me flip the screen around real quick. Those of y'all with sensitive stomachs or whatever, don't do this. Don't do this. Go ahead and click off. But yeah. And they going to get more. I don't hear them. Who knows where this come from? But that's what we got right now. Got the back strap. And of course, it smells great. And for too long, what they doing, they stashing. So they bringing it all up here. They deep somewhere off in there. I don't even hear them stirring or nothing. But what they're doing is they're bringing it all back here. So whenever they get ticked off or whatever we feed them, they can come back here and do some chewing. And guess what that also does? That brings other animals back here to be like, oh, you pulled out some food for us. So we're going to hang around too. And did I hear chickens? Yeah, they back over in this little area right here. They kicking up dust. They back over in here. They deep back over in there. So, yeah. No telling what they bringing up next, but they're going to be bringing something. They got armadillos, raccoons. I done found a coyote hide. I know there's a lot of coyotes around here, and I'm hoping that they don't get tangled up too much with a bunch of them because they always run in packs. And right here, we got remnants of an animal. Something went down right here. That's a hide. Some got pulled apart right here. But yeah, animals are definitely using my trails that I cut through. And this is Gigi's Way right here, by the way, too. Just in case y'all want to know where I'm at. This is Gigi's Way. And it's always remnants of animals' activity. And that's the entry of Gigi's Way. And I'm working on that right there. This will be the continuation. And I'm stopped right there. Don't want to tear up Annabelle. I'm going to have to get the chainsaw out and cut down so I can push through a little bit more. But yeah, that's where we are. Yeah, they nasty. They don't want to come and lick you. Don't let dogs lick you, especially wild dogs like these. You talking about bacteria? Nah, you got to be careful. But y'all, I'm out of here. And only God knows what they are keeping. Family Guy, you dead right. You dead right. Only God knows what they keeping away from us because there's some I done seen some hides. I don't know if y'all remember when we first got up here, it was a hide. Somebody said it was a beaver, somebody said it was a bear hide, but it was a big old patch of Um, Skin, it was like the skin and the hair. So I don't know what pulled that apart. Um, but yeah, there's no telling. And I would tell you this, I would not want to be just out there in the woods running around because they're going to chase whatever moving. I wouldn't want to be the one that's out there and like this. What kind of paw is this, y'all? Look at this paw. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that right there. That's my hand. I don't have no small hand, but that's big. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. They got some weight to it though. But I ain't gonna keep boring y'all with all this stuff, man. Y'all be blessed and be wild. I mean not wild. I'm reading the comment. It's the wild, wild west out there for real. For real, for real. It is. Ain't nothing but the wild. You don't come out here playing around. But y'all take care and be blessed. And until the next time, we're gonna keep on growing. Yeah, this thing is real. Bear, oh my goodness, not no bears. Now that's something, look, that's something that scared me now. I ain't gonna lie to you. Bears kind of scare me, and they'll be in trees. I know we got the bobcats. And I seen one wolf. People that's not from here, well, some people say there's no wolves around here, but if I didn't see it for myself, I wouldn't believe it. I don't know whether it was a hybrid wolf, because they did say there was a guy that passed away and he raised like hybrid wolves, and they say when he died, they released the wolves out here, not just out here but in this area, and they say they just let them go free, because he really didn't have no family or nothing like that. But yeah, I had a tree to fall last night. So right up in this area now, with all the trees that done fell, all my rotten trees are gone up in this area, and I am glad, because I was not going to cut these down. I was going to let them fall naturally, because when you're cutting down rotten pine trees, they break apart. I learned that the hard way. Thanks, Shy, for my helmet. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. The rotten trees, they just fall apart. They don't just fall down. They just fall apart. So rotten tree broke right there. I kind of pulled, y'all saw the video, I pulled those out. Rotten tree fell there. Rotten tree fell there. Rotten tree fell there. Rotten tree fell there. And now we got all these trees are pretty good. Some of them leaning still from hurricanes and hurricane force winds over the years. They still got to lean. I know Shy, when she first came out here, she was like, all these trees leaning. Yeah, they leaning because we have what you call hurricanes, tornadoes, and it make these trees lean, and there's nothing in the world you can do about it. And if you thin them out too much, then you're really gonna have some problems. But anyway, I'm finna jump off here. Hope y'all have a beautiful, beautiful Friday. Hope everything goes well, and y'all take care and stay blessed, y'all. Peace.